let your screw face erase all the goodbye. Day's a good day to be a good way. Where Valentine is. It's so nice, so nice. Let your screw face erase. Yeah, goodbye. Foolish person can't see what's right for you, what's right for me. Foolish person can't see what's right for you, what's right for me. Today's a good day to be a good way. But Valentine is so nice, so nice. Let your screw face right. Yeah, the good vibe, the good vibe, the good vibe. Today's a good day to be a good way. But Valentine is so nice, so nice. Let your screw face right. Yeah. This good vibe, this good vibe, good vibe. Come on. Foolish person got to see what's right for you, what's right for me. I hear these niggas with songs of hypocrisy, all y'all can need jealousy. Day's a good day, be a good way. This is so nice, so nice. Let your screw face right. Yes, this good vibe. This good vibe. Day's a good day to be a good way. And we're Valentine. It's so nice. Let your screw face right. Yes, this good vibe. This good vibe. This good vibe. Say nice. This is a good day, yeah. Y'all make us feel a good way, yeah. So nice. And no more school days long, or your child erased, y'all. So nice. This is a good day, yeah. Y'all make us feel a good way, yeah. Feeling so nice. And no more school days long, your child erased, y'all. Such a good vibe, such a good vibe, such a good vibe. It's a good day, yeah. Y'all make us feel a good way, yeah. We're feeling so nice. And no more school days long, your child erased, y'all. This good vibe, this good vibe, this good vibe. It's a good day, yeah. You make me feel a good way, yeah. We're feeling so nice. And don't y'all screw crazy, yeah. Try not to be raised, yeah. It's a good vibe, it's a good vibe, it's a good vibe. It's a good day, yeah. I feel a good way, yeah. Feeling so, we're feeling so nice. And don't y'all screw crazy, no. You try not to erase, y'all. It's a good vibe, it's a good vibe, a good vibe.
And today is a good day. We are live here at the Sycamore Lounge in Chatham Mills, and it is a beautiful day. Tell someone it's a beautiful day. I'm having a great day today. It's sunshiny outside. I had a nice cup of coffee before I came in here. And thank you again to IT Will last week, who, if I didn't tell you guys, last week went to go get my espresso that I always get before I come on air so I can give you guys the energy that you need. And I forgot my wallet, and this dude said, I got his coffee. He didn't even know I forgot my wallet, and he said his name was Will. I'm calling him IT Will, because he does IT. And that made it a good day. So don't forget, we're doing good in your neighborhood. When you see good happening in your neighborhood, won't you hit us up at Peebo Radio, a higher frequency. And speaking of our segments, I am really excited today because if you looked at any of the social media stuff we sent out, we are launching our flagship episode or broadcast or segment of Where Bark They Now? And we've been really excited about this because it reaches out into the community and it talks about the relationship of getting the dog that's been cast aside or has been abused, unfortunately, or forgot about or abandoned, taken to the shelter, and then what that looks like when you bring that dog home. And so we call that Where Bark They Now? And our first story is about how Daffodil J357 becomes Alice. And if you go to peebonc.com right now, you can see and hear the story of how Daffodil J35721 becomes Alice. And in that story, what I do know about this is that Alice was mated, her puppies were taken, she was fought, abandoned, and they found her somewhere on the Moncure Golston something road somewhere. And I know that when we went to go see Alice, Alice had punctures in her ears, was a little skittish, but Alice was quite sweet. But Alice was certainly in a way to where she wasn't the happiest of dogs, the fattest of dogs, and the friendliest of dogs. She was Daffodil then, but she became Alice now. And so go to peebonc.com and check out Where Bark They Now and see the transformation of how Alice went from Daffodil to Alice. But it didn't just happen on us just going about. We actually went online, the kids went online, and we looked at our local animal shelter, and we said we like this dog. And we went and looked at the dog, and we adopted the dog, and the dog has been an awesome animal. But if it wasn't for the people who do the work behind the scenes that we never see, well, we see them in the trucks and vans, but we don't see the work they put in, then having the relationship to tell the positive story about Alice would not be happening. So I have some folks who came to see me today, and I'm glad I didn't park next to them because my car didn't look nearly as shiny as that nice car that you all brought in. So I got some folks from ARC. They're going to tell you about ARC. They're going to tell you who they are, and they're going to tell you about how Daffodil became Alice through the work that they do. So, ladies and gentlemen, we got 3 folks here, but only one mic at a time. So we're going to let them talk one at a time. We flipped a coin earlier, and we said, well, who wants to talk first? Nobody wanted to talk first, but we have, hey, but you guys, you stepped up to the mic. Pun intended. You stepped up to the mic, and someone said, well, I'm going to go first. So who decided to go first?
I'm Kate.
Hey, Kate, ladies and gentlemen, won't you put your hands together and give a big applause to Kate Reardon, everyone.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here today. I think we all are.
You look happy to be here today.
Anything for these animals out here in Chatham County.
All right, so tell us about it. You heard me tell them about how Daffodil became Alice. How does that happen from your side?
We see daffodils out there all the time. These animals are running the streets, not of their own accord, and they come into the shelter, and some of them are so broken, we just look into their eyes, and they speak to us, and we bring them out of their shells, and they just want new homes all the time. These animals are just waiting to blossom into animals that you would just not believe. They just have so much love in their hearts to give.
Now, you had 2 folks who came with you and when trying to describe what your role is. So in sports, they refer to like the 6th man off the bench or the utility person or the person who wears many hats. I hear you have many roles in and out. So your main role is, and we'll start there, and then we'll see how that weaves into all the other hats that you wear.
Well, mainly we just go through the kennels, we look at these animals, we try and find the best options for these animals. Not all animals are fit to go into a home, so we talk with our local rescues that we use to try and work with these animals to get them to where they are ready to go into their forever homes. Some of these animals we take out, we vaccinate, we spay neuter, we get them ready to go into their forever homes. We take them out, we work with them. And then when the citizens of the county come in, we try and match them with the animals so that it's a perfect match and these animals don't end up coming back into our shelter. So we do a lot of things with these animals, working with them on a daily basis to try and make it a perfect fix.
Wow. How important, you gave us a lot there. How important is it to have those relationships also with the other auxiliary adoption agencies around the area?
It's one of the most important aspects of what we do there. If we didn't have these other groups that we work with, some of these animals just would not have any other alternative. They would sit in our shelter and not have the access to getting out and getting the medical care that they would really need. So we rely heavily on these other groups that come in and help us.
So, when you sat down, I said I'm not a gotcha type person in what I ask folks. And this is kind of unfair because you're the first person sitting in the chair. So it's not gotcha. But I have a question for you.
Okay.
All right. Well, okay. You could get one of two. So last week, I'm driving in. I listen to the radio. I listen to the radio. I do radio, so I listen to the radio. And there is a poll going on the radio that I stopped listening to. And I even had to Google it and look it up when I got home. And it was a poll as to, and let me say, because I don't want PETA. I said this last week, I don't want PETA on our back. But it was just, I guess, the wonderment that even came up with a poll like this. And the poll simply stated, and it said, if you had to confront an animal, of these animals, which animals could you beat in a fight? And so, but then it kind of said like a setup fight.
Yes.
And it started with it started with a house cat.
Yeah.
It went up to like a rat, and I said last week, I'm gonna say this week. I lived in D.C. I lived in Baltimore. Love this place. Afraid of the rats.
Right.
I lose in that fight. It said like a honey badger.
Yes.
And so I'm not going to give you that one.
Okay.
All right.
Uh-huh.
I am going to give you this one though. I may give one of the other people that one.
Okay.
You've done well. In Chatham County, because we are Peebo Radio, we're focused on all of Chatham County. It's just we use Peebo Radio because it has a better alliteration. When you say Peebo Radio than Chatham County Radio. But anyway, I digress. In incorporated Chatham County, can you name every town that makes up Chatham County?
I don't know that I can.
All right. Well, let's see how many you can get.
Every town.
Not every. You can see how many. I mean, I have all the answers. So I'm going to get them all. But anyway,
I know you're going to get them right. And you're putting me on the
before.
spot here.
All right. Just name 1, 2, 5. All right, 5. Let's see if we know 5.
So if I start
You start wherever.
Siler City,
Oh, there's 1.
Pittsburgh,
There's 2.
you're going to get me.
I'm not going to get you. You got 2.
Well, I'm going for the bigger towns.
All right, go ahead.
You've got me.
All right, so we got 2. All right, so there will be a parting gift for you as of next. No. Well, you didn't get the honey badger one, and so we're going to see how your compadres here do on this same test. I know it's not fair because you just went through it, but only got 1 poll, and I usually only have 1 guest and brought 3 of you guys. But tell people how they can get in touch with you. If they want to reach out, they want to volunteer, they need to bring an animal, God forbid, or they want to come and adopt an animal, how can they get in touch with you?
Well, they can come out to the shelter at 725 Renaissance Drive.
Hold on. 725
Renaissance Drive in Pittsburgh.
Now, okay. Pittsburgh, for as far as many people, is just right downtown. How do I get to Renaissance Drive?
We're right off Highway 64.
Right off
in
Highway.
between Pittsboro and Siler City.
All right, so that's important to know, folks, because this is a very important place that we want to go to, all right? So in Chatham County, that's where you're going. We're not done because we got more questions. And we got one person coming up who I first called and I talked to her, and she helped make all this happen. And so she's coming up next. But ladies and gentlemen, won't you give a round of applause as we say goodbye, but thank you, and hope this won't be your last time.
No, absolutely not. I'd love to come back.
Well, you did wonderful. There'll be a parting gift. Now, we have the waffle table and the buffet table set up. Make sure you get something to eat.
I will do that.
So, will you come back and talk to us?
I would love to do that.
All
Yes.
right, so you know we do a lot of music here.
Yes.
We got a local guy. I don't know how much you know about the local guy, but this guy's name is, I should have played more last week, but I told him I'd play him all this week as well. Local guy, great music. His name's Jason D'Amico. This song is called He's Got a Hole in His Soul, Hole in My Soul. We'll be right back with more ARC here in Chatham County. Where bark they now, y'all?
Don't try to tell me that you know the way. You're self-righteous fool. You don't know what you say. You know everything about everything. You're always the first to blame. There's a hole in my soul. Don't tell me your lies. There's a hole in my soul and the world's falling down. You're your own God crowned. So save yourself now. Why don't you save yourself now? Don't try to fix it when the whole thing's damned. You take for granted Grace's hand, yeah. And you know everything about everything. Your eyes are first to blame. There's a hole in my soul. Don't tell me your lies. There's a hole in my soul and the world's falling down. You're your own God crowned. So save yourself now. Save yourself now. Go and save yourself now. Why don't you save yourself now? Yeah, you know everything about everything. Always the first to blame. There's a hole in my soul. Don't tell me your lies. There's a hole in my soul and the world's falling down.
That's a man, local guy from Chatham County, Jason D'Amico, and that's called Hole in My Soul. Jason, thank you for the music. It's always greatly appreciated. And as we continue with our Where Bark They Now, our flagship episode, and as I said before, it would not be a flagship episode if we didn't have our local people here to talk about things as far as adopting the pets and some of the different stories that we have to deal with. So right now we're going to welcome to Peebo Radio, a higher frequency. I'm going to knock my own microphone over here, but it's live radio, folks. Now we welcome to Peebo Radio, a higher frequency. Why don't you put your hands together for Lisa Mason? Welcome, Lisa. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing very well.
So, as we were talking, you're the first voice. Now, if this voice sounds familiar, folks, if you call over ARC, we're more than likely, oftentimes, going to talk to Lisa.
Absolutely.
And when we call you, what are we calling you about, Lisa?
So there's various calls, of course, but one of the most common would be owners searching for their lost animals. That, and also looking for resources about vaccinating their pets, about spay and neutering, which is extremely important.
And when they have those questions, you're then the point person to point them in those many directions.
Yes, sir, I am.
What about those phone calls? And you know those phone calls I'm going to because I see them on Nextdoor, you see them on Facebook. Those phone calls when I've lost my pet.
Absolutely.
What about those calls?
Yeah, so they are all too common, unfortunately. So we try to counsel them a little bit as far as guidance on what to do next. What's the next step? So, of course, the first step I suggest is social media. Go ahead and post a picture of your animal, the general location, and a contact. Put
and
flyer.
You can do that on the Peebo Radio Facebook and come to our PeeboNC.com. If you post it, we will also repost it. Post it everywhere else, but we will be a point person as well. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Absolutely. No worries. So, and then also post flyers. Just a simple picture of your pet, a phone number, and do not chase. That's one of the things that a lot of well-meaning citizens try to do to help.
Okay, I was about to say, okay, wait a minute. So for other people, do not chase.
Exactly.
Okay, and why do we say do not chase? Go ahead. I need to remember
Well, that animal doesn't know you, and sometimes they are close to a roadway, and they're trying to get away from you, and they're not road savvy. So, unfortunately, in trying to help in certain situations, you can cause even more problems.
All right, so hold on. I have to, let's visualize this. So this is now from the aspect of once we see the post that the animal is out. This is what we should be doing now in trying to identify. All right, so now I see your dog. I see the post. I identify. What's my next step, Lisa?
You call the phone number. You call the shelter.
What's the phone number?
Whatever's
on
the flyer.
Okay.
Yeah. But our phone number is 919-542-7203.
All right. So, but do not chase.
Do not chase.
Should we put water out? Try and give some food? Something to make it stay, stay in one
absolutely,
place?
if you have it handy. If not, follow the instructions on the flyer. Call this person, give them the location it was spotted, and let that owner go and try to take over, or call the ARC and we can give you guidance.
And I know this isn't a set answer, but is there an average kind of window of time or opportunity that you've seen over the years that, hey, within this amount of time, there is no right or wrong answer. I'm sure 2 weeks, in 2 weeks' time, but 72 hours, 48 hours?
It can, usually they come back fairly quickly, but we've seen instances at the ARC where we've had an animal in for months and all of a sudden someone calls and they're still, so there's always hope. Unless you have evidence of something else, but there's always hope. So, you keep trying.
What's the greatest distance?
Normally a dog will stay within a 5-mile radius. unless, sometimes people might try to pick them up and then they get away from them. So therefore it can, we had a dog just recently out of Durham County, that was returned to the owner that lives there. We have no clue how it ended up in Chatham. Luckily it was microchipped. So, we were
How
able.
important is that? And what's the procedure for getting that done? Okay, walk me through. And since we did go through this, I come to get the dog. What's the step-by-step, like waiting period, meeting the dog, waiting period? What services do you provide so that the new owner either doesn't have to incur such an expense or what have you? Walk us through that, please.
Sure. So our animals, they are all fully vaccinated according to age. They are microchipped before they go home. They are also spayed and neutered. They're wormed. They're defleed, ticked. We cover all of that before they go home.
And you mentioned the microchipping. When does that happen?
That occurs before the adoption process.
Okay, and then how is that tracked?
So animal resource officers and I think some rescues probably do, and all veterinarian offices have a scanner that they can scan. And normally that microchip's placed just under the skin at the shoulder blades of the animal, but it can migrate down. So it's scanned, and then we call into whichever company actually programmed the microchip, and then they can give us the owner's information.
All right. And so how long have you been with the ARC?
Almost 2 years now.
All right. And how long have you been in Chatham County?
I've been in Chatham County off and on since I was in 6th grade.
So you've seen the growth for sure in Chatham County.
Absolutely.
And if anyone goes out to Renaissance Avenue Parkway, don't let me get it wrong.
Drive.
Okay, I was going to say. All right. Just want to say this. Have you ever been to Atlanta? All right. This bothers me. They have a road simply called Boulevard. Not the Boulevard, not Smith Boulevard, not Rose Boulevard, just called Boulevard. I don't like that. It bothers me. You don't call something just Boulevard. You're not with me? That's not like
Absolutely.
Scratch your nails. That doesn't
Yeah.
bother. Everyone has I have a friend who, the cotton they put inside of aspirin?
Yeah.
I have a friend who is deathly afraid of that. Mine is Boulevard. All right, so if I come out to Renaissance Avenue Drive. Jesus, but not Boulevard. I noticed folks noticed there's a lot of new square footage out there.
Absolutely.
Tell us about that.
So we have added on to the building. We have a nice treatment room, intake room, where we're able to provide better care for these animals with a groom. They come in sometimes, they are matted, dirty. So we have a nice grooming tub, just... We've also been able to add more kennels to actually be able to shelter more lost, found animals.
I enjoyed when I was talking to one of our guests coming up next, and he let me know that Sheriff Mike was adamant that the goal is not to euthanize more animals. So when we are creating that much more square footage, and we see the population growth that's happening here, it is to build more of relationships with the community so that those animals are getting adopted, and we're not. So increase the square footage, and the goal is to lower the rate of euthanizing.
Absolutely.
Does that seem accurate, guys?
Absolutely.
All right. So that's what we're doing here. Is that we want to tell these stories on Where Bark They Now. Hold on, I did have a nice little sound thing. I'll work on that. On Where Bark They Now, so that people can see the real stories. Go to PBO, P like Paul, B like boy, O like octopus, and also like for Pittsburgh, PBO. Go to PBONC.com, PBONC.com. Click on Where Bark They Now. Look at Daffodil in the beginning. look at where she is now. Credit some of the photo pictures to this up-and-coming artist named Nora Hall. She's doing really great. I'm quite proud of her. So photojournalism's art skills go to her. And check it out. And that's just our first story. We want more stories like this. If you did adopt your, I'll do this one for you guys. If you did adopt your animal from the Ark here in Chatham County, they cannot say, hey, Peebo, so-and-so adopted this animal and want to tell their story. Is this correct? You
That's
can't
correct.
Tell me that, right?
No.
You know why? Because I asked him. She said, no, we can't do that. But what can they do if they want to tell their story on Where Bark They Now?
Absolutely. Share it on social media and make sure that you include the Chatham Sheriff's Animal Resource Center Facebook page.
And then reach out to me, Peebo, at PeeboRadioNC@gmail.com, PeeboRadioNC@gmail.com, and go to our Facebook, PeeboRadioNC@gmail.com. I mean, there are many ways to find us constantly. Trust me, there are many ways to find us, and we want
Tosh Talk thing, y'all.
say your information.
It's a Tosh Talk thing, y'all.
It's a Tosh Talk thing, y'all.
It's a Tosh Talk thing, y'all. Discuss, define, deliver. Come get in where you fit in. You hear?
It's a Tosh Talk thing, y'all.
Es una conversación con Tosh, y'all.
It's a Tosh Talk thing, y'all.
Es una cosa de Tosh Talk, y'all.
It is a Tosh
Talk thing, y'all.
So share your information, share your stories with us here on Where Bark They Now on Peebo Radio. Lisa, what else we got to tell the folks today?
So just make sure you spay, neuter, keep your animals safely at home, and thanks for supporting us.
And you want to give them that phone number one more time?
919-542-7203.
That's 919. Wait, you say it.
542-7203.
All right, everyone give a big hand to our friend Lisa Mason. I'm giving her a hand. Yay. Y'all stay tuned. We're coming right back with the new major. Congratulations are in order. Y'all listen to Delivered from my friends Congregation. All right?
I've been spending all my life, trying to find you.
friends, Congregation Washington, the song called Delivered. So here, that is clean up. And I had this wrong. So one thing when you do live radio is that you can sometimes make mistakes. But it's not a bad mistake, because when I first met this gentleman, he had a different title than he has now. So I just got corrected that it is not Major, it is Chief Steve Maynard. Did I get that right, ladies? Did I get it right? Did I get the chief right? All right, so let me do this proper, y'all, because last time when I met him, I think it was Major. So we want to make sure that we say this right. So, welcome to Peebo Radio, a higher frequency. Chief Steve Maynard. What's up, buddy? How are you?
How's it going, Aaron?
Hey, man, thank you for coming out. Thank you for helping to make all this happen, because from the time I talked to Lisa, then to you, thank you for making this happen. So number one, I mean that sincerely. We wouldn't be sitting here if you hadn't made
yes,
this
sir.
happen. So
we see this as being exciting.
All right. I'm excited too, man. And I'm going to reiterate, one of the first things you told me was that the new area that's being built is because we want to be able to, as the community grows, which we see definitely happening, we know that the population of dogs are going to grow, so we want to see the adoption rate grow up. Thus the reason you're sitting here.
Yes, sir. That's correct.
All right. So how do people get out and be a part of this in the community? What's the whole volunteer thing? What does that look like? Take it away.
So first, we want you to follow us on the social media accounts. We got our Sheriff Mike page. We've got our Chatham County Sheriff's Office NC. Make sure you clarify Sheriff's Office -NC. We don't want you following Georgia. We want you following
That's right. NC,
our Sheriff's Office.
I almost did that today, and I actually called them once, and they said, you're not there.
It happens all the time.
Yeah, so that is key. Say that again. Say it one more time.
The Chatham County Sheriff's Office -NC.
Yes, for North Carolina, because NC does not stand for Georgia.
We're number one.
Me. That's right. That's right. All right, so go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right, and then the other one is our Chatham County Sheriff's Office Animal Resource Center Facebook page. And so if you go to our Sheriff's Office one, they're linked together. You can like and follow both. We want to see you on our page following us, and that's where you can get the most up-to-date information between those three sites. And that's where we put our advertisements out, the great events that these ladies are putting together with the rest of the ARC staff that we have. That team is wonderful. If you haven't met them, you need to come by and meet them.
So you know what? When I believe Lisa was up here, we forgot to announce an event coming up. So I'm going to put you on the spot. There's a vaccine event coming up.
It is. I think they've got the flyer here with us. It's coming up. I think it's at Chatham Charter School in Siler City off of just north of Siler City on Hampstone Road. It is going to be Saturday, April 1st. We're not pulling an April Fool's joke on you there now. So this is the real deal.
All right, so here let's walk through that so that people know where it is, know the time and date, but mostly know what should they expect.
So what you expect that day is our team will have everything organized. They'll have you when your cars come in. They'll have you pointing in a certain direction. They'll check you in, and ladies, correct me if I'm wrong on some of this here. They run the show.
All right.
And so they'll route you around and get your information. They'll the vet tech that'll be there helping that day will administer the vaccines and the shots and whatever other little thing.
And courtesy of the county?
This is something that we provide back with our partners to the county, and it's a free event.
All right, so make sure I have all this information, the links and the partner links.
We're going to leave you with a flyer today.
Are you going to leave me with a flyer and so more? You know what? I need an intern for all this flyer and keyboard input. No, make sure you leave that, but also make sure you mentioned partners. So I want to make sure whoever you all are partnering with, that we're also putting their social media links or anything, because it is a community event. We want to make sure that the word is getting out. And what's the start time of this event?
Starts at 10 a.m. on April 1st. Again, that location, and it'll run till 1 p.m. That location is Chatham Charter School at 2200 Hampstone Road in Siler City, North Carolina.
All right. And you know what? I think this is the first time I've been on air since this happened, but I'm going to take a moment and congratulate 3 Chatham County schools who all played in state basketball playoffs this past weekend. I mean, we had, I believe, Chatham Charter. I know Seaforth.
Yes, sir.
And Northwood. I mean, Chatham County.
Yes, sir. They're representing.
Yeah, I mean, hold on, where's my, there you go. I mean, that's a great accomplishment. And we had a lot of our other, the ladies, I believe, made it to the States as well. And we just had a great year for Chatham County sports as well as arts and science. So that's something else. I don't want to get too far off track, but I want to make sure that we're covering all of Chatham County, not just the area. And I'm going to ask about Chatham County here, so you don't get out of that chair without this question. But we want to make sure that we're getting, when we reach out to our young people, we love our athletes, we love our scientists as well, we love our farmers as well. So all our young people want to make sure that we are extolling their skills. But for this past weekend, to have 3 Chatham County basketball teams playing in state playoffs and finals, man, that's amazing. So
that's true. What about them girls teams?
Yeah, I know, man. And I had on the radio show that I did a couple years ago, I had Tanika Bland, who at that time I think it scored the most points in junior high school at Horton, and she's wearing them out now in high school. So that's a whole other thing, watching
awesome.
the young folks grow around here. So speaking of that, how does one, all right, you already talked about, and when there's maybe another show, I've already committed to do the STAR program. We'll talk about that, but how do we get people to volunteer and come out to volunteer? Then what does that look like? What's the process? But you mentioned volunteering. What does that look like?
So our volunteer program is something that we're trying to get off the ground. We've got a lot of interest that the community members, again, you've been talking about how great Chatham County's sports teams have been with our schools here this year, but I need to tell you how great our community is as a whole.
Us, man.
And so folks want to give back. They want to help in so many different ways. And the problem is we can't take all the help at one time. And we want to make sure that folks that want to help have a good understanding of what goes on behind the scenes. And so first, we want you to join our STAR Academy. We want you to apply. You can go online to our website. You can stop by our office. We will have some flyers and some.
Make sure I have the link for that. Make sure
I'll get you the link. I'll get it to you. And we get you the application that you can turn in so we can kind of coordinate our STAR classes. It's a 6-week program. It's usually done in the evenings that you come in. It's all behind the scenes. You get ride-alongs. You get to really see what the sheriff's office as a whole is doing for you.
Right, I'm going to do that. I already said I'm going to do that.
You keep telling me that. We're going to hold you to it.
I'm going to do that, man. I'm going to do that because I like the idea of behind the scenes. I like the idea of volunteering. But, yeah, so we want to get these volunteers. Go for it.
So you complete the STAR program, and you figure out where your strengths are at and where you feel like you could bring something positive to the organization in a volunteer role. And then once you complete the STAR and graduate, figure out your pathway in the volunteer. If it's the Animal Resource Center, then we pair you up with our programs coordinator there, and you start coming in. We've got some wonderful volunteers. We're actually following up on the completion of a volunteer project today.
Oh, really? Tell me more.
It's one of our volunteers has coordinated with, correct me if I'm wrong, ladies, Lowe's Home Improvement, and one of our local high schools, Seaforth High, which is our new high school here in the county.
Yep.
And their construction class and their instructor at the school have built a doghouse that this team at the Animal Resource Center.
You're going to have to send me a picture so I can post a picture of this doghouse, please, all right?
There will be an article coming out.
All right.
And we'll get you that information.
I'm going to get the scoop here on Peebo Radio for sure, all right?
But it's volunteers like that want to do and give good back to the community. We've had volunteers come in and help us with the cat shelters, with like taking coolers and modifying them to be warm places for cats during the winter. And so it's a great opportunity. And really, you come out and you see our wonderful team that we have here at the Sheriff's Office.
All right. So we know it's on Renaissance Avenue. No.
Renaissance Drive. Let's talk about Renaissance Drive.
Is there going to be a test later? Send me the links. We're going to make sure that people have all the resources for everything that's talked about. But we want to get volunteers out there. We got a summer coming up here. It's going to be a beautiful summer and will be great. Is there like an age range or whatnot for volunteers? Or you got to be a certain age or?
So the volunteers, we want you to be 18 and older.
Okay, good.
And so we are experimenting and beginning to implement a program with our teens.
All right.
And we're going to run a Junior Star.
Okay, tell us more about this.
So our idea and our goal with the Junior Star is for the recruitment and getting into the high schools with our teenagers and showing them of what giving back to the community, service, having that servant's heart, providing service back to the community, whether it's as a sworn law enforcement officer, whether it's working at the detention center, whether it's joining the team at the Animal Resource Center. But again, they get the behind the scenes program as well, and it gets them introduced into the sheriff's office and this profession as a whole.
All right, so finishing up with Chief. It's Chief, right? Did I get it right?
Yes, sir.
All right. I want to make sure
But
I get it right.
But you call me Steve.
All right. Let's call him Steve. But it's Chief Steve Maynard who made this happen from the time I called Lisa to met with Steve. And I tell you guys, although your car is so much more cleaner looking than mine, I saw y'all pull up, and I'm underdressed compared to you guys. You guys brought positive smiles and Chatham County spirit, and I so appreciate you guys very, very much. And I hope this is not the last time that you guys come on. I hope this is the beginning of something that we can do with some frequency, because we want these stories coming in. I'm hoping at least maybe once a month or once every other month, but also you reach out to your other partner folks and say, hey, come on Peebo Radio, let's talk about what we can do to make sure we're giving the animals the best chance and the best homes, all right? Is that a deal,
we
guys?
thank you, Aaron, and thank you to you and Sheriff Mike Robertson for giving us this opportunity today.
Yeah, man, we got to give Mike thank you, because I reached out to Mike, and he was right on it, always supporting. And so, you know, all I can say is you guys came and you did it. You know, you guys sat down, you broke bread, and we made it happen. So, you know, I didn't end my show with my mother's favorite song, which I always try and do. And so I said that this week, I'm going to see if I have. Now, if I don't have my mom's favorite song, that's not a good thing, is it? It's not a good thing if I don't have my mother's favorite song. But you know why it's her favorite song? Anyone know why it's her favorite song? Steve,
Why is it her favorite song?
See, that's what you asked. Why would it be her favorite song? You know why it's her favorite song? I wrote it. Everybody be good to one another. Thank you guys very much from the Ark for coming out. Be good to one another. This is Peebo Radio. Be good in your neighborhood. Community is community. Reach out and touch someone. Who bark they now? Where bark they now? Check us out. Be good to someone. Tell somebody.
Song of prophecy. I see the moon come shining blood light. I see the trying to turn my day into a night. It's time to hear the spoken words. Oh, people and they can gather round and tell me, did you hear the trumpet sound? It's time to fly like a bird. It's time to go fly like a bird. Way up in the sky we go to fly like a bird. Sweet by fly, go fly like a bird. It's time to go to fly like a bird. I'm even weak no more. Come on. It's time to hear the spoken word. Well, people and gather round and tell me, did you hear the trumpet sound? It's time to fly like a bird. Come on, it's time to fly like a bird. Way up in the sky, it's time to fly like a bird. Sweet by fly, I'm gonna fly like a bird. It's time to fly like a bird. Y'all see, I'm even weak no more. Who come on? I got this brand new way of talking, a pleasant room beneath my feet. But I was a child, slick as a child, and I know that sound was hurt. I'll reach your arms to the heavens and laugh real hard. Y'all fly like a bird.